This exhibition features 14 contemporary artists from all over the world, including North Carolina, who are all exploring really current and often urgent environmental issues in their artwork. So this is everything from climate change to pollution to habitat and species loss, as well as things like recycling, sustainability, and restoration. And I think these environmental issues are something we all hear about every day. It's this kind of endless 24-hour news stream that we're all exposed to. And I think when there is so much news and kind of this constant sense of urgency about environmental crises, it's easy to stop paying attention. It's easy to kind of go numb to all of these issues. And my hope is that with these artworks, these artists kind of draw you in for a closer look and make you think about these things from a different perspective. So they're all creating really unique, creative works of art out of unusual materials. They're often very visually beautiful and kind of alluring and curiosity provoking, so that I hope the kind of visual appeal of the artwork brings you in for a closer look, and then you slowly begin to realize what the underlying message is and what the narrative is, and hopefully they maybe make you shift your perspective slightly or just view the world in a different way and think about kind of your own individual impact and interactions when it comes to these environmental issues. Susie Gonch is an artist from Richmond, Virginia, who is exploring issues of sustainability in her work. So she started out her career as a jeweler, and she started thinking about the environmental impact of the materials she was using, and that led her to start creating jewelry out of recycled materials. And then she's expanded those ideas into large-scale sculptural installations, and a lot of her work is looking at kind of the increasingly blurry boundaries between the natural and the artificial world, and then also this idea of what she describes as a kind of circular system or a circular economy. So the idea that if we use less, try to reuse more, that eventually we will create less waste and less trash. So she incorporates this in her work by using everything from recycled plastic shopping bags to the plastic coffee cup lids that come with your takeout cup of coffee. So the piece on the wall behind me, which is called Remember Me Katrina, is kind of a memorial to the storm that devastated New Orleans and the South many years ago, and it has this incredible sense of dynamism and movement. And when you first look at it, especially from a distance, it looks like this beautiful monochromatic textile, and you're not quite sure what it is made out of. And then when you get up close, you see that it's made out of thousands of recycled plastic coffee cup lids. And you see lipstick stains and coffee stains. And for me, my immediate reaction was to think about how many of these coffee cup lids I use on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and kind of my impact as an individual on these environmental issues. And I kind of hope that that is also the impact it has on the viewer, that it makes you stop for a moment and think about your daily life and how you could make small changes that could make a big difference. This artwork is a community project that was facilitated by two of the artists in the exhibition, Christine and Margaret Wertheim. And they are artists who are originally from Australia. They now live and work in Los Angeles. One of them is trained as an artist and has been an art professor for a long time. The other one is a scientist, and they started working on these large-scale sculptural installations about coral reefs. So being from Australia, they were thinking about the Great Barrier Reef and the impact of climate change on coral reefs all over the world. And so they started doing their own artwork related to this kind of sense of urgency about the changing environment of coral reefs. And they also developed a series of community projects where when they were going to have an exhibition at a museum or an arts institution, they would invite the local community to create this collaborative project. So they help the organization set up workshops and give lectures, and then they provide a pattern that teaches you how to crochet coral. So Margaret, the artist who is also a scientist, realized that there is a mathematical structure, it's called hyperbolic geometry, that mimics the form that coral naturally takes. And so she developed a pattern that allows you to kind of replicate this through crocheting. And then, of course, as you can see behind me, people come up with amazing creative variations. So they start with this one pattern and then it kind of explodes into these other ideas. And we were thrilled to bring this project to North Carolina. Our program staff facilitated the contributions of over 400 people from all over North Carolina who contributed crocheted coral. And then our staff here put it together into the installation you see behind me, which is a monumental coral reef. And after the exhibition closes at the museum in July, this reef will travel to other sites in North Carolina, including several of the state aquariums. These photographs are by Richard Moss, an artist originally from Ireland who now lives and works in New York but travels all over the world to do photography projects. And I think when you first look at these photographs, it's hard to tell what you're looking at. It looks almost like an abstract painting or a microscopic detail of something. You're just not sure what you're seeing. And then once you start to look a little bit closer, you get a sense of perspective. And what you are looking at are aerial views of massive landscapes in Brazil. And this is from a very recent body of work that he did where he went to Brazil and photographed sites of extreme environmental degradation. So these are places where illegal mining operations are taking place, illegal agriculture operations, and he is photographing these sites with a drone camera with multiple lenses. So he sends the drone over the landscape, takes thousands of images, and then back in his studio in New York creates composite photographs out of multiple images. And he also manipulates the color. And for him, that kind of manipulation of the color is the visual allure that draws you in. Because I think at first glance, these look like beautiful images, and then you realize that you're looking at a subterranean burn of one of the largest tropical wetlands in the world, which is in Brazil, or an illegal gold mining operation. So I think his work really epitomizes my kind of underlying idea for the exhibition to begin with, that these artists can create works of art that are so visually interesting and alluring that they draw you in for a closer look, and then you realize what the message is that lies underneath. These works are by Hugo Mccloud, an artist who lives and works between New York City and Tulum, Mexico. And his entire career, he has used what I would call non-traditional art materials, so often industrial materials, found objects, recycled materials. And the works behind me are a series of new works that he's doing where instead of using paint, because I think when you first look at these, you think they are painted portraits, but in fact, they're made out of recycled plastic shopping bags. So if you think about the shopping bag you get when you go to the grocery store, that's what he's using, this very thin plastic. And what he does is he takes a board or a panel and lays it on a table or on the floor, and then he cuts the plastic bags into tiny pieces and pieces the image together. So you can imagine like piecing a puzzle together. And then he takes a piece of wax paper and an iron and runs the iron over the surface of the panel, and it fuses the plastic together and then also fuses it to the board. So it makes it look like paint when in fact it's just plastic. And he can get this incredible range of colors, he says, because in Mexico, a lot of the shopping bags are made out of recycled plastic, so there are kind of these one-off colors that you might not ordinarily see here. And when you look up close, you can start to see some of the logos or the writing that might appear on the plastic bag, and you get a better sense of what you're looking at. And for me, what's amazing about these works is I think, one, they're beautifully done, and the portraits are actually taken from images of workers from all over the world. So he's pulling images from the web, from the news, from magazines and newspapers of people who are carrying burdens. So they're carrying clothing or something they're going to sell in the market, either on their back or their head or their bicycle. And so it's a portrait of kind of an everyday person and this idea of everyday work and the burdens people carry. And then you think about the material he's using and kind of the pervasiveness of plastic, and especially something like a plastic shopping bag, which is a single-use plastic. And there was an article in the New York Times recently that said that they predict that it will take 1,000 years for one of these plastic bags to actually degrade. So for me, it really makes me think about the pervasiveness of this material in everyday life and how it doesn't go away. So how can you reuse it, repurpose it, recycle it, or not use it to begin with to kind of eliminate the problem?